Welcome, everyone, to episode 419 of Just Joshing. I'm your host, Joshua Pantelleresco. I write stuff in podcast 2. Today, I conclude my chat, I should say, with the great JD Estrada. We just keep going from where we left off. I kind of started a little bit from where we ended last time, and we just continue on down the path. I like this conversation. It's fun. JD is the man, and honestly, I'm really happy I did this conversation. Yeah. I think we're just going to get to it. We'll get to all the other stuff.
This episode of Just Joshing is sponsored by Indie Imprint. Indie Imprint supports creators by creators. Whether you are writing a book or creating a video game, Indie Imprint works with its clients to produce, edit, and present their projects to the world. For more information, check out their website at www.indieimprint.com.
This is Kathleen with BookBrush, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about BookBrush.com. Our team developed BookBrush for authors like you after having hundreds of conversations with authors that were struggling with creating images or simply paying too much per image to have a graphic designer do the job. So we created, for authors specifically, the easiest way to create professional ads and social media images for your books. We'd love to have you join us at bookbrush.com.
Because I don't know how long I have, and it's not the big things in life that you're really going to remember. You're not going to care what house you had. You're going to care about the people that were in that house. You're going to care about your kids, your wife. You're going to care about the people you love. You're going to care that you did the things you love. That's it. Not much else fucking matters.
Hi, and if something that you enjoy brings you joy, and it doesn't harm anyone else, and that's actually a very, 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 very wide array of things.
Yes.
People say, I'm doing this, but it's to me and not to other people. And it's like, yeah, but you're using hardcore drugs, and your family is suffering for you. So think a little bit outside of your bubble.
Yeah.
It's not that you can't think about yourself, but don't be a selfish asshole.
Yeah.
If something brings you joy, if buying this brings you joy, why the hell not? And you have the means to do so. But that's the other thing. You live within your means, and a lot of people don't.
No, it's a lesson that's going to get beaten into some people in the next little while. That's just how it is. That right? Again, we're not going to get too depressing because neither of us. It's still a little too early for me to drink, and I got shit to do tonight. So, but watching what's going on, this is the time to go. What matters to me? What's important to me? Who do I want to be going forward? Because honestly, that's the one good thing about this time. You have nothing to lose.
Yeah, and I think it's also a good time for people what are you doing and who are you talking to and who are you writing to that you go like, wow, that was a good idea. That was a good investment of time. And just look at time as an investment. Because even a small casual conversation can really make your day. And that's worth it. And for some people, it's like the same spiel and you're always negative and they always want to tell you what you have to do. And you go like, did I come for a lecture, or did I come to have to share coffee or share tea and chat? And I don't know. Some people are focused on all the negative, and for me, I've found a lot of other things during this year. Does it suck? It does suck. Obviously, it sucks. But I'm not. Just because it sucks doesn't mean that I'm not going to enjoy myself or find things that make me smile or try to make other people smile, because making other people smile and laugh makes me happy.
Yeah. No, I looked at, like I said, I reinvented myself. It's like, hey, this is a good time to quit my job. And the more I thought about it, it was a good time to quit my job. I mean, as crazy as that might sound, it's just like, I don't want to keep doing this. And if I keep doing this during this, I'm going to be doing this after this. I don't want to do that anymore. So let's reinvent myself. Let's put myself into. And guess what? I get to do my first audiobook. It's going to be a science fiction novel about 97,000 words. I get to make a complete. This is going to be me, and then they all already know this. Yeah, you're my guinea pig. Yeah, that's cool. Let's go. How much? this much. That's really good for that. Yeah, I know, but you're my guinea pig. If this works out, no one else is getting that rate. So, I mean, right? And, but it's, I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to grow. I want to learn. I want to grow. I don't need anybody's permission. And I can be whoever I want to be. And I just don't care.
Having that attitude at any point in time is going to be beneficial. Having that attitude in these times, I think it's crucial for a lot of people. A lot of people are going to go on autopilot and they're going to survive just because they went on autopilot. There's other people that are going to roll with the punches, and throughout this, and there's going to be people that are going to thrive, and there's going to be ways of thriving that you go like, okay, that was a good idea, and other people are going to thrive, and you're going to go like, wow, you're morally bankrupt. And you have to be okay with that. If something bothers you that much, put it in a book or put it in a story, but don't think about it.
Well, so I realized, again, we're gonna avoid politics. But I just realized looking around what's going on. We had our talk earlier today. Actually, we were very similar about how we look at the world. It's actually really, it's refreshing / bleak at the same time, right? But
it was crisp and bleak.
Yes. It was like, you see what I see. Yes. Well, shit.
Yes, that's a bummer, but it's cool at the same time.
Yes, exactly. So, what I realized is I can take that rage I do have and I can put it in a book. So right now I created it's called my female Parker in a Quantum Leap series. She's killing dragons. And guess what? Why the hell not? And I can do it, and it's the book starts, she's in a bar, it's actually, the roof is falling apart in pieces, it's a literal hole in the wall, and I went to this one bar in Vancouver, and you would not know it was a bar, just based on the fact that you would look at it from the outside in, it's just like an abandoned warehouse, you go in, it's like this little hole, this little cool little, like...
It's literally a hole in the wall.
Yeah, exactly, it was one of those really cool little hole in the walls, and, But it was a classy one. The one I start in the novel is not so classy. Like I said, it's falling apart, right? It gets broken into by the knives. But I try to think of like, what would a cockroach be like if it was a bar? And that was what I actually came up with as the opening scene. Because here's the thing: no matter how shitty the bar is, that car would be, it will survive anything. The roof would that was the whole idea. It's like one of those places like, how do you exist, right? But it's like, so it's got this nasty, he's kind of laughing, going, my God, at the same time with this, right? It's this nasty place. I wanted a book that's a little nasty, a little rough, a character that's got a good combination of nihilism and redemption, and I thought that'd be a cool little story to talk about right now. Because I think, here's the thing, I think books right now have a really good shot. I also think, because content's in high demand, still is. But we're running out of television shows. Because there's not going to be... Look, television is gone probably till the summer next year. It's what I think. That's when I think...
I'm watching Supermarket Sweep.
Yeah, see, that's my point, right?
I'm loving it. I'm loving it, and I'm going like, that ragu sauce is $3.39. That's too expensive.
Yeah. See, for me, it's classic concentration. I love... Alex Trebek's a good host. I just enjoy it. I just enjoyed that game show. But the thing about it is, I don't watch much TV. I read. I'm reading more. I'm seeing more. I've hit that point in my life. Like whenever I see a time like this in my life, I learn more about how the world works. Right? I see it. I learn to see it differently because the thing about it is, I want to understand how it got to this point. So I look back. I see the systems that are there, and I look forward. Well, if the system's got us to here, where are they likely to go? And hence our earlier conversation, right? So, but it's one of those. So I no longer look at the narrative. I try to look at the real story happening, and that's how I learn and that's how I grow. So, but I'm thinking, well, that's what I look at, but other people are looking for escapes, adventures to cool worlds. Where the good guys, kind of kill. Like, there's a lot. Like, seriously, dragons hoarding treasure right now fits a certain kind of individual in this world right now, and I think a lot of people would enjoy just the idea of change. So I think I'm onto something there.
I think beyond living up potential dystopian novel scenario right now. I think that dystopian novels in the coming years are going to take into consideration what we're living, and they're going to pivot hard towards another direction that it's not what we're going to be living. Obviously, I do think that people are going to do everyone. Escapism is always going to be something that people need. I truly believe that at some point or another, you go like, you know what, I've had enough news, and I need to read about magic and elves and spaceships and stuff that I haven't seen, and something different, because I'm just tired of all the negativity. How people capitalize on that is going to be different, and as creators, I think for us the challenge is not just to pump out a novel or an album or anything. It's going to be, what do we create that is our escape, that is going to be someone else's escape?
Yes, exactly.
If you achieve that, you're going to strike gold.
So right now she's in this place where she's choking out this asshole cop, and the other two cops don't want to actually stop her because he's a dick. Right? Because that feels very real, right? It's one of those situations. It's like, it's my job to stop you, but I really don't want to stop you. And she uses that feeling to escape. That's where I'm at, because it's fun. The book is dirty in a good, I feel like it's dirty, bare bones. Keep it simple. The plot is, I love dime. I think dime novels are going to be huge, because I think dime novels are. I love the old science fiction dime novel, and I think the pulp style story. I think we are in an environment where people are going to want to see that again in some form or fashion. And so I was thinking about that. It's so I have my own world. I have 3 different series I've started this year. Two of them are one's out, one's about to come out, and this is the one I want to come out at the end of the year. And I want to do one of each for the next 2-3 years. That's my books side of my strategy for taking over the world, and I have my audiobook strategy for again, I'm going to be creative. I don't fucking care anymore. I don't want.
For me, I was stuck in a bunch of projects, and I was like, you know what? I don't like how this feels, and I started a new project, and I've been barreling down, and it's poetry, and it's different, and it's a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I know that when people read it, people are going to enjoy it when they read it. It's not going to be with the roses and stuff like that. It's going to be something that people go like, dude, what's wrong with your head? And they're going to turn the page.
Yeah.
And because I'm having such a good time doing it, I shifted to this project because I think that with that momentum, I can tackle other projects that are well ahead and almost done, and I just haven't finished them because of X or Y.
Yeah.
And I said that by my birthday next year, I'm going to have at least 5 new books out, and let's just leave it at 5, because I'm pretty sure, and things that when people say books, they think that these long-ass novels. A book can be a collection of short stories, it can be a poetry collection, it can be nonfiction, it can be a novel. I'm working on all of those.
I'm working on a poetry, my Alice in Wonderland Greek mythology is poetry. Right? Right, that's what's coming out next. I already came out with my first dime novel, The Cloud Diver, which was a lot of fun, although, again, my first novel. This novel's Quantum Leap Dragon Slaying. So Parallel World Dragon Slaying is actually going to be my hashtag for it, right? So I got that. So I have 3 awesome concepts that I can go back and forth on and play with the whole time. I want to do a how to draw a comic book. It's me teaching myself how to draw, but I'll do it in a way that's really, really funny, and I'll do that on Instagram. That's my plan. And because again, I have no fucks to give. I've hit that point in my life where it's just I don't care. And
what I've noticed is that if you're having fun, people are going to want to.
Oh, absolutely. Oh.
And I'm always all about having as much fun as possible. If I have to be serious, I'll be serious. But after that half hour, I can be a goofball.
Yeah. Well, there's going earlier. There's a time to be a businessman, but there's a time. But honestly, if you don't have to do it, right? Seriously, I get to voice other people's characters for money, and I get to write my own books for money, and that's damn cool. That's kind of like creative life, man.
That does sound cool.
Yeah.
For me, all of my projects are basically a reaction to working in an environment that is highly edited. Since if you work in advertising, the odds of your base idea making it to conception and to print is very, very, very low.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. I see you revolting one day. I see you one day going into the office and saying, "Fuck this." Your advertising at the end looks like a fucking what's this? This is shit. This is complete shit. And then you're gonna go in there. You're gonna be like, "Listen, promote." You're either gonna go, "You know what? I can do better than this." Or one day, all right. I just can see like you're a creative guy that likes to have fun. And advertising can be actually a lot of fun. It's a storytelling. There's a lot of storytelling in advertising. I think it's something that a lot of people don't.
It's a challenging medium.
Yeah.
And it can be. The thing is that in theory it is a lot of fun. In practice, it's cumbersome.
Yeah. No.
I land at a fun place, but wow, I've paid my dues at the news for about 8 weeks.
Yeah. Exactly. No. It's. But again, it's such an interesting. I got one of the best books I ever got, although I don't have it here. It's in Calgary. It's a book about a famous ad guy in New York. It's about, this is for people with talent, how to actually succeed. Because if you're not a talented person, you probably shouldn't read this book. This is not for you. And if you don't want more out of life, this isn't for you either. Just give it to somebody else. And he does his ad spaces, and he uses his ads and he explains what his ads taught him about life and about success in life. And I thought it was such a cool book. I was so glad I picked it up. And I'm always fascinated about design. Again, advertising, you're right, is a super challenging medium. It's a super challenging medium. But it's also how do I put this? It's in such a neat little creative space. Because
it's neat and it's challenging, and the cool thing about my career is that I've worked with so many artists, with so many clients, and so many accounts that it's just I love a bombardment of information.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed it. I'm always gonna enjoy it. I always react positively to having a lot of information and learning new stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What I don't react well to is revisions, and when revisions end up where you feel like the end product is less than what it was 2 steps back, you're like, why can't we stop? And it's always about that.
Well, yeah, but again, that's not your decision. That's your boss's. That is the higher ups that make more money than you, and at that point, just again, rule 4: the rest is rain. You did everything you could up to that point. The rest is rain. Let it go. If it falls,
have ice cream.
What?
Have ice cream.
Yeah. Go have ice cream. Watch the rain fall. If it falls on their face, you just go, what would you like me to do about it? I had it here. You took it there.
Yeah. But it's that. And on the flip side, it's cool to see when people respond positively to anything I do, because it goes like, well, I didn't have any filters and you enjoyed it, so I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
And that varies in degrees as well, because some people go like, oh, I enjoyed your book, and then other people. One of the funniest things that ever happened to me at Puerto Rico Comic Con, it was Saturday, and I think it was 2016. I had already gone 2 years in a row, so some people had already read me, and I was like, I have a new book out. They did the countdown, like 5, 4, and I'm like, really? You're gonna do a countdown as if this is important? When they hit 1, I heard all of the doors bang open, like bang open, and this wave of heat coming from the waiting area, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And then 2 people who had read me before were screaming and running, and I'm like, what's going on? And they were coming to my booth because I had to be the first stop, and I was like, okay, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no,
I have to be doing something right.
No, dude, you're a talented guy. The reason I wanted you on this is because, one, I have talked to you, but I never had a chance to really, really have a conversation with you like this. right? I thought I wanted to do that, right? And number one, and number two, you're a cool dude. I mean, I really, like, I thought, more people should know you're out there.
The thing is that you get to people in the randomest ways, and I'm sure that someone's going to listen to this podcast and go like, dude, say hi, and we'll have a proper conversation, and they go like that. Wow, this guy writes a lot.
Well, no, I it's weird. Like I said, last thing, I broke 200 downloads. Like, in one night, I was like, what the? I don't even, I looked, I literally watched my bandwidth go from where it was, and it doubled. Like, what the hell just happened here? Right? Yeah, it's one, you put stuff out there, good things happen. That's just how it goes.
And you connect with people in different places, and cool things happen. Right now I'm connecting with people back home in Puerto Rico, a really lovely group of people. Really, I've been surprised with something I hadn't been surprised with people from Puerto Rico in a long time. And it's not like one person, it's been like, a group of people. And everyone's supporting each other, and everyone's rooting for each other, and it's like it has a really good, positive vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I don't even know how it came about. Someone referred to me because of one thing I did or something like that, and it's like, cool, he's a nice guy, and you're a nice guy, and whatnot. And we did a chat with between 5 authors, varying personalities. It's one of the most diverse panels that I've ever had, and it was in Spanish, and it was like the second video live panel that I've had in Spanish. Because I've done like 2 or 3 audio interviews, but everything else I've done is in English. And people go like, wait, you speak in Spanish? And I'm like, English is my second language. And they go like, what the hell is going on here? But connecting with people back home, and it's just really special because, I love home, and I miss home, and even now I miss it even more because, what I wouldn't give to go for a surf right now. I was like, Jesus Christ. But beyond that, I've always said that people who don't live in the metro area in Puerto Rico have something very different to them, and I've connected with a lot of people in a lot of different towns, and it's been extremely lovely. And again, just because.
So you, my friend, are when this is over, that's where you're probably heading back to at some point. That's where you'd like to head back to, I'm sure, at some point anyway.
I don't know. Things are. If you think that the situation with everything in the States is intense, Puerto Rico's going through a really, 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 really crazy.
Yeah.
Eventually, it might settle down. I hope so.
Well, here's the thing, right? This is the thing. It's going to be intense everywhere for a while. Even up here, like I said, I've concluded that we've all lost our minds right now. That's just I just figured it's the easiest way to describe it. We've all lost it. I'm insane because I basically went straight to acceptance, which apparently is weird. But I'm insane that way. It's like, okay, this is the way it is. I don't know, right? Mask, no mask, cool, whatever. Why are we fighting over this? I don't know. Why? Yeah, I'm watching the United States kind of implode next door. I'm glad I'm not there. I'm just, I'm watching all this and I'm going, we've all just lost our goddamn minds. That's what's happened here. We just all lost it. So why worry about that? Just I'm home. I'm like, my dad's here. The only thing that's really bad about right now, my grandmother's in Detroit. One of my grandmothers is in Detroit, and I can't go see her right now. And it literally speaking, I am 20 miles from her house, from where I'm sitting right here. And an imaginary line, literally an imaginary line, is keeping us apart. And you think about it like that way, brutal.
That is brutal.
Yeah.
But there's people that are separated by 20 miles. The thing is that living in another country, being 20 miles away, is something that it's hard for me to relate. Because coming from an island, the division is pretty clear, and it's pretty wet, and it's pretty big.
Yeah.
It's got that motion. For people in Europe, it has to be so weird that they can take a 3-hour drive and go through 3 countries.
Yeah, literally. You literally go through 3 countries in that whole time. And you look at it from that, like that's the true trauma right now, is you realize it's not the big stuff, it's the little things, and you realize that people are grieving that loss of control. And once you realize that, you can't hate anybody. Like we said on the other topic, I can't blame anybody for any way they feel or think right now. I understand. Yes, some of it is crazier than other stuff. This is true. But at this point, I mean, we've all lost our minds. I think next year, after this has been normalized a little bit, I think we're going to reevaluate. We're going to reevaluate everything. I hope in your case it's saner, like where you're at. I really do. I don't know. I don't know who's going to win the grandpa war.
It's crazier in Georgia. It's too much.
No.
I always tell people that it feels like I'm living the real life season premiere of The Walking Dead, because it's nuts.
No.
And then people are like, I'm walking on sunshine and nothing's wrong. Nothing at all is wrong. They go about their entire day as if nothing. They have to modify 0 things, and that's when I go like, man, I can't see that, because, like you say, okay, you do you, I do me. I can't, and I have so many people working in a hospital setting.
Yeah, no.
I just can't bring myself to not.
Well, no. So up here, the weird part is, okay, where I'm at. Okay, yes, you go. We're gonna say another 20 miles in the country. It's bad. Here is nothing. Like, there's literally nothing going on. Everybody's just minding their business. There is virtually no trace of this thing here, where I am at. You go 20 miles southeast of where I'm at right now. It's one of the worst spots in Canada. But
that's how it is.
Yeah, that's how it is. Like literally, that's how it is. Now you go the rest of, like, for the majority of the rest of the country. So we're fighting up here is like, okay, well, and again, we're fighting. So for us, it's like, it's not the hospitals are overflowing here. Like, that's not the issue here. The issue is, how serious is it? I mean, because again, from our perspective, it's not really here, right? Or it is here, but it's not. It's not you guys. I mean, that's.
The thing is that in certain places they a patient here and there, but it's controllable or under control. You know, you go to several Peterborough in the UK, and it has a bad day for them is like, you know, triple digits. That's a horrendous day. If they have 10 deaths. Oh man, we failed. And in my state, it's like triple digits, and I think the record was like almost 5,000 cases.
Yeah. Like you see, I have a theory. This is my theory about why you guys are so, part of the reason why you guys are so impacted more, not just because of the obvious answers, right? But the other big part is, I noticed that, okay, so the 3 worst countries are you, Brazil, and the UK. And I realized the one thing you all have in common, besides the fact that your governments are insane, because all 3 of you guys are insane.
Yeah, but U.S. and Brazil are...
Oh, no. Hey, listen. I don't want to make the argument who's crazier, because I really don't know. I don't know if there's a real winner there. But this is the other thing I've noticed. The public safety stuff. This is the one thing that's not talked about very much. It's not... Your healthcare can be good, depending on where you are. It can be shit, can be good. But it's your public safety stuff that's truly horrible. You have nothing there. And that's the one thing I noticed about Canada. We have stuff. I don't think the virus, even if we were completely incompetent, would be as bad here, because our public safety stuff is better than yours, right? I think that the worst places in the world had the worst public safety. This is my theory. I don't know if this is accurate, but this is my theory. Any place that's has really terrible public safety structure are the ones getting hit the hardest.
That makes sense. There definitely could be a correlation.
Yeah, that's because, again, I'm looking at, you guys have nothing, or your standards are not Your standards aren't great. We'll just leave it there.
Let's leave it at that.
Yeah. But nor's England's, nor was Italy's, right? Nor was Brazil's. So if you look at all the really hard hit spots, the public safety stuff was terrible. Even here in Canada, when we look, okay, so our biggest deaths were in Quebec, and the old folks' homes here, which were very, 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 very under like they're like not very good. And where I'm at, and where they were talking about in Southeast, the working conditions for the migrant workers that come in here and work on the farms here, it's not great. And then suddenly, it's like, that makes sense. That's a really interesting correlation. It's like all the public safety stuff that's really substandard. That's where this shit's really doing the damage. It's a thought. I don't know if I'm right, but I think I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a few other factors, like again, the crazy. It can't be ignored. But I mean,
there's definitely different factors.
Yeah,
that does make sense, and I'm not saying it's going to be the only determining factor.
No, it's not. I'm not saying
it does contribute to it.
Yeah. I think that's why your numbers went like through the fucking moon. Right? I mean, there's a few other reasons behind that, but again, just looking at other countries, right? I don't know either. Yeah.
I'll just keep writing and looking for the happy.
Yeah, no, you write and look for the happy. I think, Mr. Jorge, I think we have a good interview here. What do you think?
It's different and it's weird. We didn't talk about books that much, but people are gonna go like, shit, that's a good point, and I think that's more important.
Yeah. Well, did you want a normal interview? Because I could have done one of those too. Yeah. But also, I want like honest to God, you're a very good dude. I love your positivity, and I think I wish more people were like you. And I mean that. Yeah, so I wanted to actually have you on. So I realized I haven't had you on the show yet. Let's just do an actual proper interview, or whatever this was.
If you want to do an interview, we can do an interview. But having a normal chat, a normal proper podcast chat about anything, and not have like a set of bullet points.
Yeah, which is what we did.
Well, we got through the 8 rules, but I interrupted because it's like, look, that's a good rule, but people fuck this up all the time.
So 8 rules, the rule recap, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Rule 1, show up. Rule 2, do your shit. Rule 3, don't quit. Rule 4, the rest is rain. Rule 5, get out of your fucking way. Rule 6, no excuses. Rule 7, be grateful, be charitable. And Rule 8, stay uncomfortable.
Yeah. People about that last point, being uncomfortable, dancing outside of your comfort zone is so fun.
Mm-hmm.
People have no idea how fun it is, and they go like, "What if you fail at it?" It's like, then you laugh at yourself and you try something else.
Failing fast is the final art form to success, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. Listen, I am going to crash and burn. I actually already have. Listen, I have more rejections in the last 5 months than I've had in my entire life, and I have loved every second of it. Thank you. I literally had one person. You're not good enough yet.
Rejections are a funny thing, and I'm going to get on that train soon because I'm going to write a manuscript that I'm going to shop around. Yeah, I've done a lot of indie stuff, but I want to give the whole traditional thing a stab just out of curiosity.
Go for a big house. Go big or go home. That's honestly my only advice to you on that. You can do medium, like good. There are houses that are worth being published in because of the prestige they have, if not their size, which is cool. Go big or go home, because honest to God, at this point in your career, right, they have to offer something you don't have, or they just don't even bother.
No, it's just reach and seeing if it'll add anything to my equation.
Well,
it's curiosity.
Yeah.
Because I did my due diligence when I first shopped around the first manuscript, and I looked for the 4 publishing houses that made sense, and I found the agents that made sense, and I found within the publishing house the editors I thought it would be great to work with, and I got 0 replies, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to keep doing this. I want to write, I want to create, I want to do my stuff. this is what happened, it means that I have to own my craft, or it might just mean that it's another path. This is not the only path, and that's what a lot of people want the expressway, and they don't realize that the best adventures and the best views are not in an expressway. An expressway is ugly. It is convenient, but it is ugly. You miss out on so much stuff and so many wonderful hole-in-the-walls, bars, that you could go and get a great story idea.
Yeah. Well, I realized for myself a long time ago, there are a couple publishers I nearly ended up trying to work with. I know there's one that was interested in something I did, but I realized that I was a little too unruly for them. I tend to go my own. No, I am chaos. I will go my own direction, and I just don't give a like. I literally need that freedom to go do that. But I also just realized too that for me, like strictly on a business level, it's leverage too. You have to go on your own. You have to put yourself out there, and I think you have to prove some things to yourself too, because what will end up happening if you don't is you're basically and there's nothing wrong, by the way, with a traditional publisher, but you don't learn anything. I find that's and or you learn some things, but the things you learn. So I've had the privilege of talking to some incredibly successful authors, people that made it to the very top of the food chain. Kelly Armstrong, Fonda Lee, a few other ones that have done really, really well. And I realize that it's for them one of the reasons that they're in those positions, not because they're not capable of doing it on their own. They're far from it. They're very, very capable individuals. There is a business structure to publishing. And those people and the people that are in those positions fit those positions exceptionally well. They know what they're doing. They're very, very comfortable in it. And like being in a corporation and working for a traditional publishing house is not that different, I don't think. So if you have that background going in, you'll be just fine. Because basically it's the same thing. Delivering when you promise when you're going to deliver, and going.
And with everything in mind, with stories, etc., and I think this is pure speculation, but I think that means choosing your battles. And people think that choosing your battles means acquiescing all the time or fighting all the time, and it's neither. It's a very, you have to see something and go like, okay, this is a deal breaker. Because one thing is a win, another thing is your preference, another thing is a deal breaker. What's a deal breaker? If something's a deal breaker, break the deal. Period. Because if not, if you let something that bothers you that much, you let someone push you over on something that matters to you that much, you're gonna do it with anything. And there has to be a line, and you have to know what's the real line and what's you being.
Well, the thing about traditional publishing you have to understand is they've been very successful doing what they've been doing for a very long time.
They don't want to change.
Well, no, why would they? I mean, in all fairness, why would they? They're successful at it, right? So, and what you have to realize is you are, on some level or another, you're going to write to their formula. That's totally fine, by the way. There's nothing wrong with that, right? What they are looking for is a new way to tell their stories. Something that only you can bring to the table. And if you can figure out what that is, you will sell them to them. They will love you. And if you can, right? And they will work with you to keep that voice there, because that's what they're looking for. And if there is a real issue, they'll do. Again, I've met some traditional publishers that they love different voices. They love working with people. But you gotta, again, the writer has to be very conscious that there is, these particular publishers work these kinds of stories. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you gotta be willing to go into those fields, those zones, with that understanding.
You're not going to tear down their walls and rebuild it with your story.
No. Nor should you.
And sometimes the box is pretty big, and there's ample room to dance in. That's another thing a lot of people don't realize. But in terms of me, with 16 books out, I've established that I like doing different things. I like diving into different wells in my soul, and there's different things that I fiction, it's going to try to have a positive impact. If it's poetry, it's going to be a variety of things. If it's middle grade, it's going to be to make you smile and let you disconnect and let you just chill out for a while. And if it's urban fantasy, get ready. There's going to be some stuff that you're going to go like, wow, this guy is trying to go too philosophical here, and this was too complicated, but this was cool. It's like, yeah, that's an amalgam of things. But having those books out and going to people, this is who I am. So what I do here in this traditional setting, if it's different or something, it's because I find that challenge interesting and I want to work inside that box, but do my own thing. And for people to go like, oh, so is he going to do anything else? And that's why my ideal scenario is to be a hybrid author.
Yeah.
It's like, I want the freedom. If I have to get another pen name, so be it. I don't think I need to.
No.
If it's something that we would get to that point, it's like, really? I don't know. But again, 6 poetry collections, 2 urban fantasy, 2 middle grades, a bilingual collection with essays, short stories, and poetry with a bilingual poem that rhymes, and nonfiction books, and my blank comics project. People go like, okay, this guy likes variety, and he likes going different routes. So, and there's having established that, and the other stuff that I'm going to release is just going to be my way of telling people, this is who I am. If there's something else that comes out, trust me, I'm going to push hard so that you go like, yeah, that's it.
Ooh, so I think I'm going to wrap the interview up with a big question then. Are you ready?
Okay.
So what's your story? What's the story that you are telling to the audience that's you? Because I find everybody that writes is writing about something about themselves as much as they're doing anything else.
Well, there's going to be the answer that I give, and hopefully there's going to be a course covering my body of work in the future of people trying to decipher it, and I can laugh at it and go like, that's not what I was going for. In terms of the story that I'm saying is that once upon a time I studied psychology, and I actually did a minor. It's a triple minor. What I did in college was psychology, marketing, and advertising. And at one time I did want to do studies and do written work about different ways that we express the different facets of us, and just try to either bounce things off theories from Carl Jung or stuff like that, in terms of shadow self and the anima and different stuff like that. I do believe that it's not that we have different personalities, like distinct personalities, but we do have modes. And when you play with your different modes, and when you dive into different wells within your soul, and you see that sometimes you want to have a $50 glass of wine, and sometimes you want a cookie, and that both are equally valid and both equally precious, and that everything in between is explorable, and that everything that I do creatively is exploring a part of myself. And the more that I try something new, the more that I get to know myself. So the story is that everything that I publish is part of me getting to know myself, and it's sharing a different piece of me. And some things are very personal and hit very close to home, and other things are very far off. And there's value in looking at yourself with a very, very, very fine microscope, and then looking at a distance. When you get granular and you find beauty in a very small detail, in a sentence within a 164,000 word novel, and you see the value in the 164,000 word novel, that's part of what I want people to enjoy. You can be a casual reader and enjoy it, but if you go in depth, and if you ask me, because people have asked me a bunch of stuff about my books, and as long as it's not a spoiler, I'll answer it. And if it's something that would be a spoiler, I'll say I can't answer that because it's a spoiler. But letting people know the song, the lyrics, the story, the movie, the video game, the life event, the life trauma, the philosophical ideas, or the theological ideas that are within an idea. Again, it's an invitation to get to know me in the
So, on that note, I think we have a full interview here. Do you think so?
I think so too.
Okay, so we'll wrap this up. Tell people about, it was your birthday this week. Happy birthday. Why don't you tell people about that particular book and how people can find you?
Which particular book?
So the book you had on Facebook about your birthday.
Okay, I'm sharing all the which is my first book. Okay. Okay, so, yes, it is my birthday. Yes, I'm turning 40. No, that does not mean I'm going to grow up, because Peter Pan lives within me, which sounds weird in many ways, but it actually kind of makes sense. If you want to get in touch with me, just look for JD Estrada Writer. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and I do have a blog, which is jdestradawriter.blogspot.com. I like to have fun. I like to do random stuff. And right now, since I'm celebrating my 40th, I'm also celebrating my first. In terms of my first novel, I'm sharing different reviews of my first novel so that people can take my 40th birthday as an invitation to get to know me. And they can get to know me in many ways. If you read me, you're going to get to know me. And if you contact me, you're going to get to know me better.
All right. Give me a second here. Let me help you tell your story. I offer a variety of audio services. I will narrate, I will produce, I will edit, and I will master your file so that it will be ready for Audible and Spotify. And if you don't want me to narrate your story, whether you want to do it or get someone else, I will help you find the right person for the job. All in all, I just want to help you tell your story. Let me help you. For information on my rates and services, please just click the link below in the podcast description, jpantelresco.wordpress.com for more details. And that was my conversation with the one and only JD Estrada. Check out his website, man. He's got a lot of great books. He is honestly one of the gentlest dudes I think I've had on the show. And I have had some amazing talents. This is also my 99th episode this year. This is the first year I've done this many episodes. I kind of want to thank everybody that's participated and wanted to be interviewed. I have some great interviews coming up. And, I mean, this time has been interesting. It's been ups and downs. Like I said, this is definitely taking some getting used to being a freelancer. This has been one of the most challenging things in my life. I'm going to be very honest about this. Not doing what's normally doing. And I realize that even right now, doing everything I'm doing right now, a lot of it doesn't show. I think that's what makes this so hard. You don't know what's going to work out at the end, if it's going to work out at the end, because all you can do is put the effort in. And I recognize the fact that maybe the only thing I can control is practicing being excellent. That's the only power I have. I can show up and do the work every day, and hopefully people recognize the work when it comes out, when it's all said and done. Anyway, Zero is out. Definitely check that out. Check out the Grand Cygnus Race from my sponsor, Indie Imprint Long Play Games. Get Your Ass to Mars is a cool little racing feature you should definitely check out. And I just said I would promote it, and I mean it. Go check it out. It's a fun little mini game. It was a cool thing that Indie Imprint's put together, and I really think you guys will dig it. Find the game, Get Your Ass to Mars at longplaygames.com. But yeah, that'll do it for this episode. Just joshing. If you want to support the podcast, you can do so a number of different ways. Subscribe to it. I'm on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, Amazon. I'm on every platform you can possibly imagine. So definitely, if you hit the subscribe button, let people know about my podcast. Share links. Let people know I exist. I'm real. Buy my books. I got The Cloud Diver and Zero on Amazon exclusively right now. You can definitely buy those. You can buy my merchandise at jpantelresco.redbubble.com. Subscribe to my newsletter. I do all kinds of stuff about marketing and inspirational stuff. That's what I'm doing each and every week. So I'm having fun with that. My YouTube channel is Josh Pantelresco. All my previous conversations are there. There are 353 conversations for you guys to listen to. Stay inspired, guys. Keep doing your thing. Keep struggling. Keep surfing the chaos, because honestly, we will get through this. Always. Take care, everybody.
Josh.